let's just play with this energy. The last reading, as you can see, their energy just funded your breakthrough. So I'm like, let's play with this energy for a little bit and see where it goes. Maybe you're resonating. Let me know if you're resonating. So I'm Rose. Roses are red. We're going to get into this energy. I'm going to use my red deck just to play with it. See what kind of agitation is in the energy. You may have some people in your life that are basically like a support system, almost like a ground opening up, and they expected you to fall, but you're just hovering. Like this whole time you were never standing on solid ground to begin with, so nobody can really pull any type of carpet from under your feet. And that's what's scary. The fact that you're not grounded. People expect you to be grounded. They expect you to be so secure and stable, and they lean on you because of this. They see you as being some kind of a tower in their life, but it's like you can crumble so easily. It's not difficult at all to crumble and then get back up or not. It doesn't matter. So in this energy, you got Six of Pentacles. So somebody is definitely thirsty for your blood. That's the vibe I'm getting, like mosquitoes. They see you as being generous, as supportive, like I just said, but you can crumble at any moment. And this is the vibe, like, I literally have no idea what's going on in the world. The only way I know is because people tell me about it. People I see, like, face to face, walking around in the street. And it goes in one ear and out the other. I literally have no idea what's going on. But the thing that stood out just recently is people, there's not going to be any food. There's not going to be any governments. They're saying governments is shutting down, and France is already shut down. Like I said, I don't know. I don't watch the news. I had a feeling it was fake. I don't know. If it's real, I'll see it in my day to day, but I don't see this in my day to day. So I didn't even barely see COVID in my day to day. So it's like, I don't really know what's real and what's not. But that's the vibe, is that Hunger Games has just begun, and people who think they're safe and protected from the government are not. They're not safe unless they protect themselves. And also, a friend of mine's, I was doing her hair. She was watching The Walking Dead. I thought that show been got canceled, but apparently it's still running new episodes. So she's getting all caught up on her seasons. I used to watch it, but I stopped watching stuff like that because I realized that everything that I pay attention to has become my life. And so I moved from a major city to a very, very, very small town. And to me, the town looks like The Walking Dead. I thought it the moment I landed that it looked like a ghost town, and the people around look like zombies. And I'm like, oh, okay. So The Walking Dead, zombies, all of that is just an artist's way of expressing their real reality. Like if I was just to sit here in this town and try to write a story about my feelings, it would be like, what's a dead body look like if it just got back up and started walking and talking? Oh, my neighbors. So that's the vibe here, is that you're dealing with some zombies, and also that your support system can crumble at any moment. When it comes to the Hunger Games, it's like you were feeding somebody. And also, I was really into zombies and vampires. And so there's also this energy of someone trying to suck your blood, and you having empathy or sympathy with these dead creatures and saying, look, I can bring you back to life. I have more than enough blood to share. But now if they're going to turn on you and they're not being grateful for the blood that you offer them, it's like, I'm not Jesus. You thought I was Jesus? Jesus is still giving out blood, free blood. Just go and accept him. But, over here, it's like, you got to pay for this. So the vibe is like they weren't unable to pay. So, oh, well, they just don't get any more blood. They don't get to eat your brains. They don't get to eat your thoughts. They don't get to resonate in your energy. It's like, it's just cut off. Everybody's just cut off. Energy of people wanting the wealthy to suffer and literally bite in the hand that feeds them. I just got incoming texts. Okay, so you have Strength in reverse. Yeah, this is what happens when the people in power have had enough. Everybody's human. Everybody has bad days. Everybody feels like they're being mistreated or whatever. But what the reality is that the people at the top are there for a reason. And the only reason the people at the bottom survive is because of this trickle down effect. Now, people feel like, oh, is outnumbered, right? There's more poor people than there are rich. But what is poor? Poor is you don't know where your next meal is coming from. So in a blink of an eye, that whole group of people can disappear. Okay. And also, we live in a society where you've got armies who, it's not even just this society, it's not even just this time period, but the army is in the sky. You can take out towns, you can take out cities. There's no war here. There's never going to be another war. Nobody has to lose their life but the enemy. And if you pose a threat to the higher power, the powers that be, you're an enemy and you will be taken out without a second thought. So it's like, watch yourself. That's the vibe I'm getting. Because you don't know who works for who knows who. And being disrespectful ultimately is a huge offense because people have feelings. And at the end of the day, when you're you're basically crushing on people's eggshells and thinking that you're more important than they are. So you've got eggshells, like these dusty, worthless eggshells sprinkled around your feet, thinking that you're more important than somebody that can crush you in the blink of an eye and doesn't even have to deal with their own feet. That's the vibe. Just watch yourself. Mindful of other people's feelings. Be mindful and considerate of other people's feelings because you're not the only one here. There's an imbalance. There's an upset here. And it's also like the powers that be are needing to pull rank and just remind the people beneath them who's in control. Because here's what they're planning on doing. They're planning on crucifying the king. They want to hang you on a cross. There's a show called Billionaire Bunker. And they basically have these billionaires being tortured. Why should the billionaires suffer? Because they have money? And that's what I'm saying. Once the billionaires start taking back their money and you realize just how much of your life depends on the rich being considerate and generous, and then you're just starving in a concentration camp. So people can talk a whole lot of shit and act like they have a whole lot of power. And they're going to do this when they're skinny and starving and dying. They're still going to be talking shit to their grave. And that's the vibe. Like, people talking about World War III, like everybody's just going to have guns running around being all tough. Like, no, that's not what happens in a war. People die. That's it. It's an extinction of the human race. It's a genocide. It's a cleansing. It's like the human race is going through radiation. Anybody who has some shit to say about the powers that be, their whole line is going to be destroyed. Their whole family, every last name in the book is going to get erased. You have Knight of Pentacles. I'm getting this Trojan horse. Like, the Trojan horse was a horse that was given to a king as a gift. And the king didn't know that the horse was filled with army men. So they let this horse into the community. They pulled this trophy, this statue into the community. And everyone thought the war was over. And as soon as, people let down their guards and got comfortable, they opened up the horse and basically just started because it was just a slaughter. So that is just a slaughterhouse. That's the vibe I'm getting. Like, your enemies are being slaughtered left and right. And the fact that they still stand around talking shit is just, that's the lunacy of it all. That's the reason why they're being removed from your life, is because they don't make any sense. And you're in this energy of making sense. Everything that you've been through is being used to fund your new breakthrough. It's all turning into monetary gain. Every situation that you went through that was supposedly making you weak or a target, giving people a reason to disrespect you, giving people to walk all over you, whatever that was, whatever kind of sensation they're picking up on, is saying, oh yeah, well, I'm tougher than that. That's your breakthrough. That's your financial gain, because you never turned your back on God. From day one, you were willing to give your life. And now it's like, you're not scared of anything. You're not even scared of looking scared. You're not scared of being weak. You're not scared of being strong. And that's exactly why you're being used the way you're being used. Because you're basically a monster. Like, really, you're basically a machine. Because, like I'm saying, this new war, whatever this war is the machines. Is the androids. And you got people who are so strong that they can pull the trigger. They're not affected either way. They get triggered, they pop off, they snap, and it's the end. It's so many of these machines walking around just acting normal. They're not making trouble. They're not exposing themselves in any way. They're just like, oh yeah, it's like, what do they call it? Sleeper cells. All you have to do is say the word. All you have to do is snap your fingers, and these sleeper cells will wake up from out of their dungeon, from under their rock, and run havoc. Because the reality is, these people are not roaming around causing chaos. That's the problem. The sleeper cells are asleep. They're somewhere depressed because they can't get a job. You got Ten of Wands. They carry a heavy burden. They carry everybody else's burden that doesn't want to take responsibility for themselves, that want to point the finger at everybody else saying, why are you not taking care of me? Why are you not protecting me? That's the burden that they carry. Like, they really supposed to be protecting the whole world. Walking on all these little crusty, dusty eggshells. These little ant eggshells nobody gives a damn about. People care about the dinosaur eggs. The real monsters. People who can actually decide whether this town live or dies. It's not about your little disability check. Yeah, these entities are jealous, selfish, demanding little brats. And the thing is, brats really feel like the world is about them, but nobody likes a brat. It's only a matter of time before this brat gets thrown out. This brat gets forced to fend for themselves. You know, they rolling around in wheelchairs and with perfectly functional legs. So they get forced to walk. And in this energy is like, the wheelchair is a car to some extent, you know, driving around in cars or whatever. I just feel like years is like the way it happened in China and Africa, where the roles just get switched around. The poor don't even know that they're poor. They think they run shit because they're brats. So take that away. Take away their rights. Take away their ability to fill out a little stupid application, see if they're going to get some funding. No, no more funding, no more rights. You're just an animal in the woods. That's the real energy. That's the new world order. Because it's only going to be two groups. There's a group of people who's actually now suffering and complaining about shit that doesn't matter. Who's complaining about what they don't have? Who feels like they're being mistreated? Who feels like the world owes them something? Yeah, it is the disabled. It's the mentally ill. It's the people who really genuinely cannot take care of themselves. But the thing is, we take care of the weak in society because we care, because we're kind, because we love. But they take and they take and they take and they drain and they drain and they drain. All you have to do is step away and say no, and they starve to death. That's it. That's the end of them. And it's like you don't want to cause mass genocide because most of society is this way, or at least that's how they like to think. They like to feel like they're the majority. But if they really are the majority, then that's a huge problem. And that makes it very clear that they're going to have to be removed. It's just like cutting off a limb. If the limb doesn't work, if the limb doesn't help the body, if the limb is just a piece of shit dragging along the ground, causing extra weight, rotting the rest of your body, then cut it off. Cut it off and throw it in the fire. And leave that thing behind. That's what I'm feeling. Everyone in this energy of a dead weight, of feeding off of someone else and not carrying their own depression. You depressed, then go pray. You're sad, go in the house and be sad. You're insecure, go tighten up. That's none of my business. That's not my problem. They're getting left behind. I don't know if you remember, but Bush had this program, No Child Left Behind, and they were passing kids, retarded kids that should have been left behind. They should have been in special classes. These people been getting passed along for centuries. There's retarded people. There are retards in Congress right now. Retarded people taking all the jobs, making mistakes left and right. And that's why the system is crumbling. This whole system is codependent. They can't do nothing for themselves. And they've got this accent like they're used to crying. They're used to whining and begging. Like instantly. If something doesn't go right for them, that's instantly how they feel, just crying. And you hear it. It's a cry that is not connected to any type of pain. Is not connected to any kind of injustice. Not really. It's just a bratty whine, a bratty nag, a negative stream of energy that just keeps on going, like diarrhea of the mouth. They just shit. They just talking shit right out their mouth constantly. And so what's going up their ass if shit is coming out their mouth? That's what I like to know. Ruthless. So you've got this ruthless energy, or someone in your energy that's about to realize just how ruthless you are. And that's the whole point. Just to express yourself. I'm seeing violence on the card, but I don't know if it really needs to go there. Apparently, you're trained in a black belt. Apparently, you know how to fight to kill. That's the vibe I'm getting. Like, people don't realize how nice you are. Because all you have to do is suck your teeth a certain way, and you could break a bone. I'm really getting that vibe. Like, you have a lot of power under your belt, and you have a really strong heart. And half the time I feel like you have to act like you're dumb. You have to act dumb just to fit in around these retarded people. People have retarded membranes. And that's what's so sad about it, because when it comes to this energy, you really do need to train. You have to keep yourself up to par. And the longer you're around these retards, the dumber you get. So there's this energy like you do have to take a break off and be around your own people and do some training exercises, read a book, have a decent conversation that's not about you not getting your disability check or whatever the case is. You have Three of Cups here. Like, you need to get some girls. If this is a masculine, you need to be around some real women who can breathe with their own lungs, who can look at their own reflection in the mirror and love themselves. So somebody's definitely going on a journey. The journey here is that people could be calling you a fool for even leaving in the first place. You went off to find something more than what you had. And the last reading I did was like, that was a mistake. If you could pay to erase that time and just keep what you had and not be worried about what else is out there, I feel like you would have done that. But in this energy, this is for the roses. It's like, I would have been good with my low paying job and my little rinky dink friends, you know, hanging out with my toxic family. But this is so far beyond your wildest dreams, because you're definitely being paid for everything that you've experienced. And at the end of the day, you are going to be grateful, but I feel like it's going to take some time for you to really see the value of this experience. Because this is work. This is like someone off in Afghanistan and you sign up to go to war and you might have lost all your friends. I'm not digging up those sores, but you lost a lot by being in a situation. And then you come back and now you're just a veteran standing in the soup kitchen line, hoping for a little extra gravy on the side. The vibe here is that you're getting paid so much more than you would have anticipated, because the world is on your side. The world sees what you're going through. The world had to go to war for themselves. They can't keep hiring other people to fight their battles. They had to fight for themselves. It's a spiritual war. And now they're much more appreciative of your strength, your courage, your patience, your kindness. Just know how strong you are. And the fact that you're the only safe soul to rest your eyes on. Anyone resting their eyes on your spirit or aura can appreciate the solitude. It's just one man. So just remember, it's worth it. At the end of the day, you might not feel appreciated right now because there's still a lot of brats who feel like they run shit. As soon as they get taken care of, as soon as they get put in their place, the whole world is going to change. Because the people at the bottom belong on the top. And I'm not saying that the poor belong on the top. I'm not saying that the brats belong on the top or the mentally ill belong on the top. I'm saying that the rich are on the bottom right now. The rich are being stomped on. The educated are being abused and misused and mistreated because you're too kind. So the roads are about to get reversed. You're about to see things from a different perspective. You've been waiting for this. Because this is a trap that a lot of people fall into. And when I say people, I mean ages. Like, it's not just a community. It's an era. It's an era of humanity where the king wants to prove just how loving and kind he is, that he ends up sacrificing himself and being crucified. Christ gets murdered over and over and over again. And anybody who relates to him, anybody who loves him, anybody who accepts him is being murdered with him. And this is what's being changed. This is the perspective that we're looking at from a different angle. Like, well, what if Christ rises from the grave? What if he conquers the devil? And when you conquer something, you become worse than it. You take everything it owns and you rise above. So it's almost like something scarier and more dangerous and more violent than Satan rose up from the grave and sat beside God on the right hand side. It's the devil, it's God back in their right positions, sitting on your shoulder. You can have a conversation with Satan. You can have a conversation with God. You can make your own decisions. It's back in the philosophical era where we're just men. And we're not supporting retards. If retards can't support themselves, then they die. So there's a family fighting about something stupid. Now, the case is, it has to do with debt. They can't pay their bills. They don't have money to pay for things that they so-called need, wheelchairs, ramps, whatever the case is. I don't know. But that's the vibe here, that they're greedy, they're possessive, materialistic, and they can't afford nothing that they want. That's what's being exposed. That's what's being removed. That's what was clogging the pipe all this time and stopping your abundance from reaching you and from your abundance to reach other people, because it's not always about me, me, me. Some people love to give. And some people hate that they can't extend their arm and give love to their community, to their passions. That's what was plugging up the pipes. These greedy brats, these greedy, retarded brats, worried about something that they don't need and don't qualify for. Yeah, so you have chaos. Basically, as soon as you unplug this, and in the previous reading, it was the world. As soon as you unplug this world, we're about to see everything go to shit and just start over again. It's like a mudslide. But that's the vibe. Totally worth it. If that's something you're resonating with, let me know in the comments. I do look forward to hearing from you. As always, roses are red. I'm Rose, and I'll be here every day. Like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.